Hi everyone, my name is Kayla. I am one of the educators here at the Gulf Crest Maritime Museum, and I'm going to show you a quick little experiment that you can do in your home. Um, if you've ever left a glass sitting out with some water in it and it's been sitting out for a while and you come back and notice the outside is wet, that's something called condensation. Um, Another example of condensation in nature is if you go outside and look at the clouds in the sky. That's another big example of condensation. In fact, a quicker example of condensation is if you go and breathe on the window. The air that you breathe out is warmer than the air around you and the air around the window. So when you breathe onto the window, water vapor actually adheres to the window and it lets you draw a little cute little smiley face in it. But for this experiment, we are going to make our own cloud in a jar. So what you'll need for this experiment, you'll need a mason jar with a lid. You'll need to fill the mason jar about a third of the way with warm water or hot water. Make sure you get an adult to help you with it. You will also need, well, it's not required, but you'll need food coloring, your choice of color. You'll need some ice, and you will need some hairspray. Now, to get started, you can add some food coloring to your hot water. I mentioned earlier that this is optional. This is just so you can be able to see your cloud clearly at the end of the experiment. Just a few drops is all you need. Next, you want to carefully swish around your water to mix in your food coloring, but mostly to warm up the sides of the jar. Make sure you get an adult to help you out with that. Next, you'll take your lid, make sure your lid is upside down, and then you'll take a couple of ice cubes and place them inside the lid, and then you'll place your lid on top of the jar. And then we're going to wait 20 seconds. Now, 20 seconds is just the right amount of time it takes you to wash your hands. Feel free to sing happy birthday if you want, but we will need to wait the full 20 seconds for the ice and the water to do their thing. You can kind of see some condensation forming at the top of the jar there. So at the end of the 20 seconds, you will take your hairspray, and then you'll remove the lid. You'll do a little spritz of hairspray in the jar and then quickly replace the lid. Now, the reason why this experiment works is when you add the warm water to the jar, some of it turns into water vapor. The water vapor rises to the top of the jar where it comes into contact with the cold air. And the cold air is thanks to the ice cubes that are on top. So water vapor condenses when it cools down. However, a cloud can only form if the water vapor has something to condense onto. In nature, water vapor may condense onto dust particles, air pollution, pollen, volcanic ash, etc., etc. In the case of this activity, the water vapor condensed onto the hairspray. Now you can see we're having a little trouble seeing our cloud. That does not mean it hasn't formed though. It's probably because our water wasn't warm enough. If you're having the same issue at home, all you have to do is remove the lid and you can see where your cloud is formed. This is a really fun experiment. I would recommend you trying it with warm water, boiling hot water, of course with a parent's assistance. And then you can see how much of a cloud is formed.